Good morning all. On behalf of Ministry of Education, I welcome everyone for this very much needed National Education Policy 2020 2 days event. My name is Budha Chandrasekhar. I am a Chief Coordinating Officer for AICT Ministry of Education. I am from Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam, so I can speak Telugu very well. But I thank, as it's official event, maybe I will try to stick myself to Tinglish, so Telugu plus English. So I thank Hans Media and the dignitaries on the dais for much needed initiative and inviting various stakeholders in one place, including the major stakeholder is students. And dear students, I don't see you as a students, I see you as a innovators, I see you as an entrepreneurs, I see you as a startups, I see you as a researchers, I see you as a job seekers, I see you as a job givers. That entrepreneurship is very, very much important, because I myself question every night that why we have only few Adanis and Ambanis in our country. Why don't we have Adanis and Ambanis in each and every hook of the corner of our country? Because our old education policy is driven us towards the working under someone. I think the basic fundamental difference between the old education policy and new education policy is now it will empower you to think out of the box. It will connect your right and left brain, which is very, very important. See why Germans are much more brilliant than Indians, because of just one ingredient, that we only using one side of the brain, but they are using both sides of the brain, and they became number one in even producing the best of the best engines, which we call it as cars or automobiles, or you take it like aeroplanes or anything, So that's I think that is the missing piece in our old education policy, which we are trying to fulfill. So in this, now if you see the physical world, right, the entire physical world become a digital village. What it means is, you can access anything. Even if you want to access the Boston City disaster management system, you can access it from here, from a click of a button. So it means the world became a digital in nature. Don't you think Indians, every student, every faculty needs to digitally empowered? The answer is yes, right? But how you will do with the old education policy? So that's where the ingredients come into picture. If you want to create a very best of the best sambar, what you will do? You will mix so many things together, right? So this national education policy is also what a beautifully crafted. I mean, if you ask me, this is the best of the best crafted educational policy system in the world, and the best brains, not only from India, the best brains across the world was churned through, and try to understand what is that best we can give to our students and our faculty, institutes, as well as the industry. Because we see, as a Ministry of Education and Government of India, there is a huge disconnect between the degrees what we give and the course curriculum what we have, and the outcome, the outcome is unemployed youth, right? This is the result of the old education policy. I think now let us all get rid of it. I think, this is a time we need to move from a developing nation to a developed nation. When I say the developed nation, what I mean by developed nation, imagine a student comes out of the with skill and with knowledge and with jugaad and with innovation, with entrepreneurship. Don't you think we can reduce unemployment in our country? Imagine reducing 5% of unemployment in our country. It will change the course of our country. That is what the vision we need to make in our mind. And today, after 2 days, I request everyone, let us take something back to our place and share this knowledge with all our friends and families. And trust me, in one movie called Tagore, Chiranjeevi says, I will help you, you help 3 other people, right? In a similar manner, today you take up this, I know here we have only few hundred, but this few hundred can send this message to few hundred of WhatsApp messages, in few hundred of Facebook and various social media platforms, and that will change the country. I mean, yesterday I am reading in newspaper, they are saying that there is one incident happened in Secunderabad. This were pre-planned in social media. When can a disaster can happen in a pre-planned in a social media? Don't you think the development of our country can happen in a social media? Of course, the answer is yes. The only thing, the right side, right brain needs to be get connected and motivated, and let us create more innovators, more entrepreneurs. When I did my MBA from Maryland University, I finished my MBA there, sir. I paid $50,000. The last end of the day, they gave me one small book, said, this is the best of the best book, which has all the solutions. So I was so curious, and I'm not able to stop myself. I rushed to the restroom and I opened that book and get shocked, because when I'm 7 years old, my grandmother taught me the same, that is called Mahabharata book. He gave it to me, saying that after I paid 50,000 rupees, I think, one thing which the ingredient missing, till now in our old education policies, we forgot our basic roots. Because we as an India, as ancestors who are greatest scientists, so they are, we used to call them as a rishis or, whatever the books they written, unless until you see it, you don't write it, right? So imagine, someone written it, what it really means is it really happened. But we ourselves basically doesn't recognize, and the Germans and various others recognize, they have decoded all that, including the Tesla, and created best of the best solutions for the country, I think, which we must do. So we have included the Indian knowledge systems into the system, which is very, very important. Along with that, as I said, I'm from Andhra. I really love my language. When I first think to speak, I first interpret the entire thought in the language which my mother taught me is Telugu. So first I think in Telugu, I reinterpret in my operating system called my brain. And I speak in English, and again, when someone gives me some input, I will again reinterpret back in Telugu, because that's a language, and the language of great of the gods, that's what they call it. I don't know whether it's really great of the gods, but one thing I can tell you, that if you speak in Telugu, 75,000 nadulu. ఒకేసారి కదిలించగల ఏకైక మాతృభాష మన తెలుగు. ఇంత అద్భుతమైన భాషను మనం వదులుకోకుండా దాన్ని పరిరక్షించుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత కూడా మన దగ్గర ఉంది. కాబట్టి I request everyone, along with our advanced technologies, because I'm a technologist, I speak technology, I sleep with technology, but at the same time, I love my culture and tradition and language. I think, we need to manage this both. So I thank everyone for, lots of points. I'm sure we are going to discuss lots of points here. So skilling, reskilling, digital skilling, because not only the skilling, we have identified 30 technologies, emerging technologies, which can rule the world for next 15 years. So we want our students and our faculty to learn all these languages and rule this world for next 15 to 20 years. So I will present all that in my presentation. So I'm just cutting that short. But basically, the NEP is not only about the building your career and future. It is about the building the character also, which is very, very important. We are seeing in last few years very disturbing incidences in our country, just because there is a gap, on character building in our education policy. I think that also we are trying to fulfill, and creating a well-rounded individual which can equate with the 21st century skills. As sir said, ABC, UBC, there is along with ABC, we have UBC now. I mean, why only the academic bank of credits? Don't you think we need to create a universal bank of credits? So we are slowly working towards that, and we are working on one nation, one data. Till now, the data is decimated everywhere. There is no decision-making systems. Now we are creating a decision-making systems, which is not only useful for the government, which is useful for the institutes, for the faculty, for everyone. Imagine a father or a student wants to pursue a PhD from in mechanical engineering. Do you have any system which can help you? No. So we are creating a system where you can key in all this information and retrieve the information and take a best of the best decision. As I said, the government of India intention is very simple. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So now we are opening up colleges in various backward districts, because that is where we can fulfill the gap. Why the villagers are moving towards city? Why don't we spread the development towards villages? I think this is the thought process we need to carry. And as ma'am is there, I request madam to please be here, the MSME ma'am, so that she can go through the presentation which I have created, because it's not only about the national education policy. The presentation is about the country development, how we can include all the stakeholders in order to develop our nation to a Vishwa Guru. Because we as an Indians, we see this country as a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means the entire world, every citizen in this world is our brothers and sisters. That's the beauty of our country, So let us create this national education policy in a way that let the other students of other countries will come to our country, like how they used to do in 18th centuries. They used to come to our country and they used to learn, acquire the knowledge, and they used to go back and become a spiritual gurus. Some maybe name it as Jesus or whatever it is, So they all learnt here and went back and decimated the knowledge, shared the knowledge. In a similar way, we need to create our NEP 2020 so that the citizens of other country will come to our country and learn the knowledge, share the knowledge, and decimate the knowledge, and let us world become a peaceful world and a Vishwa Guru. Thank you very much, and let us have a very knowledge sharing two-way sessions. I always believe in discussion, not just throwing our thoughts, imposing our thoughts on you. So we are open as a government of India. You please give your thoughts. If you feel something is not correct or needs to be corrected, needs to be improved, we are agile in nature. The beauty of new education policies is completely agile in nature. I welcome all of you, and let's all work together for developing nation of our country. Thank you very much. Namaste.